Makers, it's Joel from Makers Studio back with part 2 of our trash can rock band project for CoBuild19. And before we jump into what we're going to be doing today, which I'm really excited about, let me just say, if you haven't watched part 1, you probably want to go back and watch that. It is the part where I introduce a bunch of different musical instruments that you can make from just household items, things that you have laying around the house. So go back, check that out, and then come back and check out this video where we're about to make some really cool noise. Okay, so in part 1 of Trash Can Rock Band, we built a bunch of different instruments. I showed you a bunch of different things that you could create. We have a challenge that is built around this where you're going to build your own musical instruments and then share those with us on the CoBuild19 Facebook page. Before we get into that, what I want to do today is go a little step farther with your musical instruments and give you some introduction to some tools that you can use, some free downloadable software that you can use to record your instruments. So let's jump into that today and check out how you can really take it to the next level. Okay, so this is where I think this project can get really, really fun, because now you've made your instruments, you've got them all perfected, you got your maracas or your kalimbas or whatever it is that you've created. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to record the sounds from those, and then we can apply different effects, or you can cut them and actually do some music production yourself. So this part of the video is really for either older students who are just into music and production, or for more advanced younger students who find this stuff to be fascinating as well. Because what we're gonna do is we're going to act like music producers, and we're gonna apply effects like reverb and chorus and flange and things like that to make some really wild and crazy sounds. So the first step of this process is you're going to go online and you're going to Google search Audacity. That's going to come up with this website. Audacity is basically a free music production software that you can download. You can use it for podcasting, or you can use it for music, or for whatever. Once you have that downloaded, then that's where you can really get going. The only other piece of equipment that you're going to need here, potentially, is a microphone. So I have one of these Yeti microphones like this, which is just a USB microphone. But if you have whatever microphone you have, even your laptop's built-in microphone will work for this. But a lot of people have those earbuds that come with their phone, and those will have a built-in microphone in them. So you could use that as well, so you can really get up close to the instruments that you're recording to make the sounds. So what I've done is I have already recorded all of my sounds from the instruments that I created. I didn't attempt to play them in a very musical way. I really just want this to be an introduction to this Audacity software so that you can start to see the power of this and how it works. Okay, so this is what the Audacity interface looks like. And the first thing that you want to do, which I've already done for mine, is you want to go over here to the left-hand column and you want to name your tracks. That'll just make it easier for you to keep track of them as you're making your new sounds. Okay, so that over on that left-hand panel, you'll see you have some very specific controls here. So for example, the minus plus, that will increase and decrease the volume of everything that is in that track. And then you also have this left and right. That can change the balance. So if you want your cuica playing on the left-hand side while your guitar plays on the right hand, you can do that here as well. I never mess with any of this with the 48,000 hertz or the 32-bit float. We can just leave those just as is. Okay, so now let's jump into this and how we can make some really fun sounds come out of here. So let's just first click and highlight over our section of the Cuica that we have. One thing that we want to make sure that we're doing here, because I just want to deal with the Cuica, is I want to make sure that this solo button is selected. And I want to mute all of my other tracks, which looks like they're all muted already. Okay, so let's go back to the Cuica, and let's just play that raw sound first. Okay, so there's the sound that I recorded for my Cuica. It makes this kind of fun monkey sound. So let's start applying some effects to that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to up the gain just a little bit to try to make that play a little bit louder for me. And then I'm going to go up here to the effects panel. And I'm going to, the first thing we'll do is just something really simple, is we'll reverse it. So that will reverse the area that I have selected. Now let's listen to what my Cuica sounds like. All right, so now we have a backwards monkey sound. And if you want to undo that, you don't really like that, you can just hit the Command Z on a Mac or Control Z if you're in Windows to undo that, so that now it will revert back to the original track that I had. So that's just one really basic thing. You could do some really fun things like make yourself talk backwards and things like that. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is something that is used a lot in music recording, and that is we're going to go back to our effects panel and we're going to apply some reverb to this sound. So right now, basically what reverb is going to do is it's going to add what the room size is. So even though I played my Cuica in a very small room in my basement, we can make it sound like we're playing our Cuica in a giant concert hall. So right now I've got my room size set to 75, and I'm not going to mess with any of the other ones. One of the things that I love about a lot of these effects that you're going to look at is that they come with this preview button, so we can hear what they're going to sound like before we commit to them. So let's preview what this room size of 75% sounds like with my Cuica track. There it is. So now it sounds like my Cuica is being played in a really large room, and so you can get in there and mess with how much the reverb there is, what percentage there is, the damping, the tones, whether they're high or low. So if we want to only play the low ones at that high reverb, we can do that. The gains, and then the stereo width, and so on. So there's lots of different ways that you can customize the way that the reverb sounds. For right now, I'm not going to apply that. I'm just going to hit cancel, and we're going to jump down to my guitar track. So let's again click and highlight over a portion of the guitar track, and let's listen to what that sounds like. Oh, whoops. I forgot. We had the solo button on the Cuica, so we're still only playing the Cuica sound. So let's mute our Cuica. Let's hit solo on the guitar track, and now let's hit play. So there's my beautiful sounding guitar. So let's add some effects here. Let's say we want a heavy metal cereal box guitar. Let's go up in here to effects, and the first thing let's add is no guitar is heavy metal without some distortion. So let's add some distortion in here, and we can even choose some presets of what kind of distortion we want. So let's just try something like this hard overdrive, and let's see what that sounds like. Oh, there we go. We can even increase the amount of distortion that we have. do that one more time. Let's crank that output level back down a little bit. And let's apply that. All right, so now we've got our heavy metal cereal box guitar. Let's try and add even more effects to it. Let's do something like, let me close this notification. Let's try adding something like wah-wah to it. So that's going to give you a sound that's a wah-wah sound, kind of like a Jimi Hendrix guitar. So let's listen to what that's going to sound like. All right, I like it. Increase the gain on that just a little bit and go ahead and apply that. Now we can close that window. And now here's what our guitar sounds like. All right, let's go back into our effects. And let's try one more effect that we can add on here. And let's do something that really kind of crazy, where we add in, sorry, more notifications coming in. Let's go into our delay. And what delay is going to do is it's going to add a sort of echo effect where it's going to change the pitch or tempo of that echo. So if we preview that, we can see what our current settings will sound like. All right, let's do low quality pitch shift and hear what that sounds like. And then one thing that will really make this crazy is we have the number of echoes. If we increase that by a lot, let's hear what that sounds like. Not a huge difference, really. Let's apply that. So that's just some of the things that you can add in here. There's tons of effects that you can get into, from things like down here at the very bottom, you've got a vocoder, you've got tremolo, you've got all kinds of really fun, crazy effects that you can add to your sounds and see what you come up with. Okay, so that's it. I hope you really enjoy messing around with this kind of rudimentary music production software and really get into making some really cool noise. If you do a video or you create a song with what we've done here, make sure that you post that to social media. Let's use the hashtag #TrashCanRockBand. So hashtag #TrashCanRockBand, and then also with the hashtag CoBuild19. Hey, until next time, have fun making.